For as long as I could remember, I believed that all of my relationships were transactional. I believed people cared about me because of what I did for them, not because of who I was. My mentality was self-focused and self-sustaining. I believe people loved me because of who my parents were and because I was so nice. They cared about me because of how I looked, polished, and put together. I believed my friends loved me because I was a good listener and how I made them feel. I believed my parents loved me because I was obedient and I wasn't rebellious and I treated my sister well. I believed God loved me because I consistently did good things. I very consistently read my Bible, I prayed, I spent so much time of my life serving Him. I believed and lived like I earned God's love because of how I spent my time, my effort, and my energy. I believed I deserved God's love, and I believe that I deserved the acceptance of other people. This past summer of 2023, my daughter Cora was 4 months old, and my mental health began to struggle with a darkness that I have never known. Each day of my week passed by so slowly. I didn't want to leave my bed in the morning. A heavy weight crushed my soul when I thought about getting through the day. Every day, I felt an unexplainable sadness. Sometimes it was in increments of a few hours, and sometimes it was for the entire day. I wondered if I would ever feel like myself ever again. My baby would cry, and my feelings towards her were anger and resentment and frustration. For the first time in my life, it was so hard to cling to hope. I couldn't think straight, and I kept forgetting things. I kept dropping simple tasks and responsibilities at home. I felt so stupid, so pathetic, so weak. My critical self-talk became the loudest voice in my head. How could anyone care for me? How could anyone care about me? I had nothing left to offer them. I couldn't even take care of myself. I believed God's love for me had to be less amidst my depression. I couldn't keep up. I wasn't reading my Bible. I wasn't writing in my prayer journal. I wasn't serving at the capacity I once was. How could God love me? I didn't deserve it. It was amidst my postpartum depression that God reminded me of the truth that He says to me in His Word. Ephesians 2:8-9 rang in my head daily. For it is by grace that you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. I have been saved by grace, undeserved forgiveness from God for my selfishness and sin that separates me from Him. Undeserved love despite my actions, undeserved hope and purpose for my life. I didn't earn forgiveness, and I couldn't earn it. It was a gift He gave me and not a transaction. I was living like it was a transaction. How freeing it was for me to realize how unfair God's love really is. I loved God with my flawed, broken understanding of love, but He loved me with unconditional love. My relationship with Him began to feel so personal. Today, this struggle with my identity is still very a part of my life. But today, now, I believe that God's love for me is undeserved, and it's a love that has no height and nor depth. In the midst of my postpartum depression, the Lord brought a verse to my heart that I have thought about every single day since this past summer. Lamentations 3:22-23. says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every single morning. Great is your faithfulness."